Hey everyone, it's Chris at Service Autopilot. This is the Christmas week edition of the feature update video. And so you get me today in my stocking cap and my scarf as I'm gearing up for the Christmas season. So the feature I want to show you today is the rate matrix. The rate matrix is a tool within Service Autopilot that you can use on specific services as well as products that allows you to automatically price services based on whatever criteria you define. So for this video's example, I'm going to use square footage as my criteria to price out services. So I'll be able to build a formula on one of my services. We'll use professional lawn care for this example, to create a formula that is based on the square footage of the property that we're doing service for to automate our pricing. So let's dive into the system. I'm going to show you how to set this up, and then you can take the model and apply it to whatever your specific formulas are. So let's dive in here. Where I want to go is my scheduling settings, because we're going to pull up one of our existing services. So I'll click on the service list, and for this example, I'll scroll down and we'll select professional lawn care. So I already have a rate matrix built on this service, so let's just walk through what everything means. I'll click on the rate matrix tab. So we'll come back to the calculation field last, because it really is easier to understand when you understand the bottom portion of this screen first. So the first thing that I select is which custom field in my system specifically. Your system might be different, but which custom field do I want this calculation to be based on? So in my example, I'm using my turf square foot custom field. What that means is when I enter a value into that turf square feet custom field for any given customer or lead, that's going to be the number that gets plugged into this rate matrix and spits out the price back to me. So the way that this is reading right now as I have it is that from 0 turf square feet to 1,000 turf square feet, so that's my first range, this is my flat rate, $50. Now these numbers might not be realistic. I just have round numbers for easy math purposes. So $50 between 0 and 1,000 square feet. I can also use this matrix to define the budgeted time as well as the budgeted cost based on square footage. So this is reading $50 is the flat rate for that square footage range, and half of a man hour is what it will take in this range. And so then I say, okay, half of a man hour costs me X amount of dollars. In my case, I've said $25. That again might not be realistic, but it's easy for math. So for 0 to 1,000 square feet, I charge the client $50. It takes me half of a man hour, and that costs me $25. So there's a couple of different directions I can go from here to continue this matrix. I can add a second matrix item by clicking this button here and creating my second range. So this range might be from 1,001 to, let's just say, 5,000, again for math purposes. So I will have a new flat rate for this range. So for this range, my flat rate might be $100. And the budgeted time might be a full man hour. And my budgeted cost at that point would be $50. So you can continue to add as many ranges in this matrix as you want. Now, if it's on a 100% equivalent scale, meaning that as the square footage goes up by a certain amount, the price always goes up by the same amount, as well as the budgeted time going up by the same amount and the cost going up, then instead of creating a ton of these line items here, I can simply delete, let me delete this one, and use what we call internally, there's really no name for it, but we call it the multiplier. Because what I can say at this point is in my case here, every 1,000 square feet, again using turf square feet, every 1,000 turf square feet over 1,000, I am 100% equally adding $50 for every 1,000 square feet we go over that original number. So if this person's yard that we were working with was 2,000 square feet in this example, well then it would be $100 because I would have my base price of 50 and then we went 1,000 over the initial 1,000, so it adds $50 more. And it also adds half of a man hour more, and it also adds $25 more. So the way that this actually works in terms of how you implement this into a quote is using the calculation field on a quote. So let's pull one up here really quick. I'm going to cancel out of this, and let's just create a brand new estimate. And I'm not going to go through all the details of an estimate. We'll skip right to the rate matrix section. But let me choose a client here. We'll choose Bob Jones. I'll choose my document. And now I'll go find in my service list that professional lawn care service. So here I'll click professional lawn care and apply. This calculation field in this example, because of the rate matrix I set up, represents turf square feet. So if I said Bob Jones's yard is 2,000 turf square feet, once I tab out, look, it went and found in my formula exactly what the price should be. If I go up by another 1,000, it's going to add $50. So let's put this at 3,000. So now we're at 150. So on and so forth using the multiplier. So let's dive back into the service that we were working on at Professional Lawn Care. The last thing that I want to show you here is the very first drop-down box that we get in this menu. So right now I have it set, my calculation method is what this is, I have it set to quantity times rate times visits. This is the most typical example. This is primarily what you'll use with this. The way that this works is the way that I simply described before, and I'll repeat it. It looks at my range, and based on my range, it charges a flat rate. And that's it. If I were to switch this to calc times quantity times rate times visits, the calculation works a little bit differently. The way that this would calculate is it would look at the range from 0 to 1,000, and so let's just say that the client's property is 1,000 square feet. It will look at the rate that is here and not charge a flat rate, but instead it will multiply that rate back times the calculation number. So in that case, it would read something like this. From 0 to 1,000 square feet, we charge 5 cents per square foot. So in this case, it would multiply 0.5 back times 1,000 and give me, I believe, $500 if I'm correct there. It might be $5. I'm really bad at math, forgive me. But it will charge by the incremental square feet instead of the flat rate that you select. So I hope that this has helped you out. You'll have to take this, and there's no quick answer as to what numbers you need to plug in to these fields. It's going to be different for every industry, number one, but also every service and every marketplace. You have to stay competitive with your market. So I can't tell you what numbers need to go in here, but chances are you are already somewhat thinking this way about the services that you're quoting. And maybe you have that in a spreadsheet somewhere and you're doing calculations there. Maybe you're just kind of doing it in your head, and you can use this to get a little bit more accurate with those calculations. So again, I hope that this has helped you understand what the rate matrix is and what it's used for. It's simply a way to automate the prices that you quote to customers and leads based on whatever criteria you define, whether that's square footage. For some services, that might be number of shrubs, number of flower beds, etc. There's an infinite number of examples of what you can use this for and what criteria you could use. So thanks for watching. I hope it's helped. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Give us a call if you have any questions about this. We also run webinars on estimates that go into great detail about these rate matrices, and you can check those out and get a little bit more familiar with them. So give us a call to get signed up for those. Thanks for watching. Happy Holidays.